It appears my suspicions was right whenever I first heard about the Delta moving in the way that it was moving in towards bringing misery and sorrow to the inhabitants here upon to the earth. I tend to wonder which is more severe at this particular point in time, the coronavirus or the planet heating up, because one is just as bad as the other. Please listen to this.
Can't come to work anymore. That's not going to be anybody here to take care of you.
With 68,000 COVID patients straining American hospitals, experts warn the system in affected communities is nearing the breaking point.
If this pace continues for the next 4 or 5 days, which it seems it will, the hospital systems in Florida and Louisiana will collapse.
And with
It seems it will. The hospital systems in Florida and Louisiana will collapse. It seems it will. The hospital systems in Florida and Louisiana will collapse.
About 2 weeks ago, whenever I first seen this coming over the horizon, I told people that that it made me just literally quiver of what I was feeling, what I was listening to, and what I was seeing coming. Well, now my worst nightmares has come true in regards to this disease that is now wreaking havoc upon not just the adults, but also the children. I told people in some of my videos that this was not over long about April or May, whenever they thought that they had it stomped out. I told them on record that this was not over pertaining to the coronavirus. And I knew that it wasn't. And I think other professionals knew that it wasn't.
With COVID infections climbing, another move to mandate vaccines. The Pentagon today announcing it will seek the president's approval to require nearly 1.4 million active duty military members to get the vaccine starting in mid-September.
You can consider this memo today as what we would call in the military a warning order.
And the Pentagon could move that deadline up if the vaccines get full FDA approval sooner. Tonight, with millions of school children heading back to the classroom, doctors fear more kids will be hospitalized with COVID.
You should assume that we're going to see pediatric intensive care units all across the South completely overwhelmed, and something, even a possibility of small tent cities of sick adolescents and kids.
In just the last week, pediatric cases climbing to 94,000. And children with COVID are going into hospitals at a rate nearly 4 times higher than just a month ago.
This is not your grandfather's COVID. Children are experiencing more severe disease than they have in the past. They come in respiratory failure. They often require hospitalization in the pediatric intensive care unit.
The Delta surge prompting the American Academy of Pediatrics to call on the FDA to authorize vaccines for 5 to 11-year-olds as fast as possible. In Virginia, 17-year-old Shwanda Corprew died just 4 days before she was scheduled to get the vaccine.
I don't want to see anybody else have to bury, their little sibling or little daughter or anything like that. It's really heartbreaking.
In Jacksonville, Florida, 12-year-old Lila Hartley wants masks in schools to protect her 10-year-old brother who's too young to get the vaccine.
Even though I'm vaccinated, I can still get sick. Also, my younger brother, Will, I don't want to get him sick if I get it because I wasn't wearing a mask.
Siblings worried about their own brothers and sisters. And Victor with us now. Victor, we know the situation there in Florida. We're also hearing tonight, as I mentioned off the top, Austin, Texas, with those 6 ICU beds left. That's a city of more than 2 million. And another eye-opening number tonight from the entire state of Arkansas when it comes to ICU beds.
David, Arkansas's governor says that they just saw their largest single-day increase in hospitalizations, now down to just 8 ICU beds in a state of 3 million people. Governor Hutchinson calling it an error to sign a law banning those mask mandates. David?
All right, Victor Kendo leading us off here on a Monday night. Victor, thank you. The spike in cases, of course, is alarming, particularly what we're now seeing in children. We know many of you at home have questions about all this, so let's get right back to Dr. Ashish Jha, Dean of the Brown University School of Public Health. Dr. Jha, great to have you with us to start off a new week. And we're witnessing these huge spikes across the country, particularly across the South. And many authorities are now warning that other parts of this country are about to get tested, especially with children going back to school, with fall coming, people going back indoors. Give us a reality check here tonight. Could this get worse? What should we be prepared for?
Yeah, David, thanks for having me back. I think we should be expecting a few more very, very difficult weeks ahead. I don't expect a peak in the United States anytime in the next few weeks. If things go well, maybe by the end of August or early September. But that's a lot more people who are going to get infected and sick in the weeks ahead. So we have to be very careful right now.
Yeah, well, we have you, Dr. Jha. You heard Victor report there on the surge of infections in children, 94,000 new pediatric cases in a week. I know the CDC isn't officially saying that this Delta variant is more severe in children, but anecdotally, given what we're seeing coming from many of these hospitals, what's behind this? And do you support this push to fast-track vaccine for students, children 5 to 11 years old?
Yeah, first of all, on the vaccines, I do support it. I think the American Academy of Pediatrics is exactly right. Right now, the risk benefits are clearly towards getting more kids vaccinated. You know, we don't know for sure whether this variant is more severe. It does look like it is for adults. It stands to reason it might be in kids as well. Again, this is not a moment to blow off this infection on children. It really is affecting them. And we've got to be very careful and protect kids, especially under 12 who can't get vaccinated.
All right, Dr. Jha with us here on a Monday night. Dr. Jha, thank you. In the meantime, the other news this evening, and we move on now to the major fires in the U.S. and the alarming news tonight on climate change from the UN. In California, the Dixie Fire is now the second largest in state history. And it comes as the UN issues its alarming new climate report, calling it a, quote, code red for humanity. Scientists tonight with the new numbers, and we have them here, warning the Earth is warming much faster than they thought. ABC's Zoreen Shah in California, where authorities say they are seeing what they're warning of in this new report firsthand.
Tonight, as California's second largest fire on record rages, a shocking new UN report warning the effects of climate change are getting worse, warming Earth at a faster rate than previously thought.
It's indisputable that human activities are causing climate change, making extreme climate events like heat waves, droughts, and heavy rainfall more frequent and severe.
The UN Secretary General with that code red for humanity warning. More than 230 experts from 66 nations now urging a rapid reduction in greenhouse gases. They now predict the planet will rise an average of 2.7 degrees Fahrenheit by 2040, less than 20 years from now and a decade before they initially believed, bringing with that more heat waves, droughts, and fires.
Fires love a few things. They love heat, they love dry, they love wind.
California's Dixie Fire now scorching nearly 500,000 acres. This fire has been burning for about a month and it's still nowhere near contained. It is still ripping through this forest, incinerating the town of Greenville last week. The surrounding areas still threatened. The air difficult to breathe. Because of the multiple hazards, officials say it could be weeks before families are allowed to return. Robert Johns among those losing homes, now unsure of what's next.
It's just hard to realize it's all gone now at this point.
And David, more record heat is possible in parts of the Pacific Northwest and Northern California. Triple-digit heat by midweek and dry weather could add to an already devastating fire season. David?
All right, Zoreen Shah. Zoreen, thank you. And as you...
You know, you have to really have a lot of empathy and pity the people that are fighting all them fires. The first responders, people with emphysema, people with any type of breathing problem. It's bound to be affecting the quality of their life towards having to breathe that smoke day in and day out. We know how dangerous secondhand smoke is pertaining to somebody smoking in your house or in the same automobile that you're in. Could you only imagine having to breathe and inhale that type of intake, that type of velocity of smoke 24/7? You just about have to be on some sort of an oxygen mask to get away from not having to breathe. Stuff like that. I'm telling you, somebody needs to put a pencil and a paper to this towards bringing some sort of a pipeline from the Mississippi River across about 4 or 5 states so that it can help accommodate those people whenever their water supplies all dry up. That's how bad it is. Like I was saying a while ago, you know, it literally made me cringe whenever I heard the report a couple weeks ago of how that this new variant was basically coming down onto now the mid-class, working class, and the children. That this makes me cringe too, pertaining to all the fires, and they're just now putting out these type of warnings that should have been put out about 3 years ago. We're gonna have to wake up, folks. If we're gonna be a surviving civilization, we're gonna have to wake up.
No, it's not just the U.S. seeing these historic fires. Tonight, parts of Europe seeing the worst heat in 30 years and horrific fires in Greece and in Turkey. Some residents and tourists boarding ferries to escape the flames. ABC's Maggie Rulli tonight in Evia, Greece.
Tonight, parts of Europe are seeing their worst heat in 30 years. And these fires are also telling the story of climate change. The flames scorching hundreds of thousands of acres in Greece.
My island is on fire.
Here on the popular tourist island of Evia, helicopters refilling their tanks, attacking the flames from above. The out-of-control infernos cutting the island in half over the weekend. Flames towering over the water as residents flee on ferries, their only escape.
You can hear the crackle of these fires, the flames so hot. We feel them as they rip through this underbush. Look, it just climbs up the tree, going all the way back up the hillside.
And according to that dire new UN climate report, these fires here in Greece and in Turkey will only get worse.
And David, you can see this heavy smoke that hangs over the dock right now. Behind me, that's a Navy ship. And right next to it, you can see fishing and just regular boats. All of them are on standby, ready to evacuate anyone who needs it. David.
All right, Maggie Rulli on the island of Evia in Greece there tonight. Maggie, thank you. Back here at home tonight in the developing headline from Washington at this hour, President Biden a major step closer now to passage of his $1.1 trillion infrastructure plan. The Senate expected to pass the bipartisan bill as early as tomorrow. Let's get right to Rachel Scott. Rachel, what do you...
Hearing New York Attorney General's report found Cuomo sexually harassed 11 women. The Assembly's impeachment investigation looking into additional allegations of misconduct.
Allegations that the governor...
Freaking creep.
Virginia Giuffre. Here's ABC's Janae Norman tonight.
Tonight, Prince Andrew facing a new lawsuit filed by Jeffrey Epstein accuser Virginia Roberts Giuffre, claiming the prince sexually abused her when she was 17.
Oh man, the creeps are coming out of the woodwork, ain't they? And if it's got anything to do with Joe Osteen, I guarantee you it'll be factual. My God. I've been told the reason why the Osteen guy in jail lost his life was because somebody had killed him, and I also was told that he knowed too many uppity ups that had been doing the exact same thing that he had been doing. So there you go there. Wow.
In the lawsuit, Giuffre stating 20 years ago, Prince Andrew's wealth, power, position, and connections enabled him to abuse a frightened, vulnerable child with no one there to protect her.
Regardless of how rich and powerful they may be, they are not above the law.
In court filings beginning in 2014, Giuffre says Epstein and longtime...
See, that Epstein character right there, whenever they arrested him, he didn't stay in jail very long until he supposedly killed himself by hanging himself. I just imagine somebody grabbed about 3 or 4 people, manhandled him, and made it look like that it was a suicide, but in reality they killed him. Now, I'm figuratively speaking here. I don't know for sure. This is a true assumption, and the reason why I'm assuming this is because of the stuff that I've heard on TV and online pertaining to Bill Clinton and the Epstein case. I don't know. It's pure speculation, and I probably, if the truth be known, from a Christian standpoint, probably shouldn't even be touching off on it.
Associate Ghislaine Maxwell allegedly directed her to have sex with Prince Andrew on 3 occasions in 2001. Included in the filings, this photograph of Gouffre standing beside the prince. In a rare interview with the BBC in November 2019, the prince denied her accusations.
You don't remember meeting her?
No. Nobody can prove whether or not that photograph has been doctored, but I don't recollect that photograph ever being taken.
The filing comes nearly 2 years after Epstein died in a New York jail. Andrew has not commented on the filing today.
Maxwell, she has pleaded not guilty to federal charges. She conspired with Epstein and aided in his alleged sexual abuse of 4 underage girls from 1994 to 2004. Her trial is set to begin in November. David.
Janae Norman live here in New York. Thank you, Janae. Overseas tonight with President Biden bringing U.S. troops home from Afghanistan, the Taliban has now seized control of at least 6 key cities. Tonight, the Pentagon now acknowledging Afghanistan is clearly not headed in the right direction. Here's ABC's Stephanie Ramos.
Tonight, the situation in Afghanistan deteriorating quickly. The Taliban taking control of 2 more provincial capitals just today, bringing the total to 6. The Afghan Ministry of Defense releasing video of airstrikes against Taliban positions. But the Taliban's takeover has been swift. In just the past 5 months, the group seizing wide swaths of the country. And now, a growing humanitarian crisis for Afghan children. At least 27 killed and 136 injured since Friday. The Pentagon saying today the situation is clearly not going in the right direction. However,
the secretary continues to believe that the Afghan forces have the capability, they have the capacity to make a big difference on the battlefield.
With the full U.S. withdrawal just weeks away, the Afghan government clearly struggling to make that difference.
The U.S. military says 95% of U.S. troops and equipment have withdrawn, and the withdrawal will continue in the weeks ahead. However, about 650 U.S. troops will remain on the ground to help protect the U.S. Embassy and the airport. David.
Oh, it's Stephanie Ramos at the White House tonight. Stephanie, thank you. And when we come back, the severe weather we're tracking at this hour, Chicago, in fact, under a tornado watch. And that horrifying scene in an elevator, water rising to their shoulders and necks. They were holding their phones above the water.
We're fixing to end this. I do want to get the part with the hotel.
Not follow the mandate, and superintendents say they.
Well, looks like I passed it up. I didn't mean to do that.
SBC.
For our children.
After Illinois Governor J.B. Pritzker announced all schools pre-K through grade 12 would require masks on school grounds, some schools decided to not follow the mandate. Benton School District 47 told their parents that masks would be recommended, but not required for staff, students, and visitors. Now parents from all over Southern Illinois want the same thing, kids in schools without masking requirements.
I'm not against anybody who wants the vaccine.
Try it one more time to catch what I'm looking for here.
About 600.
Bungalows and the.
Sorry, folks. Trying to get it. Trying to get it. Trying to get it. Here we go.
We're also following tropical storm system watches tonight in Puerto Rico and the U.S. Virgin Islands, a potential tropical storm that could impact the U.S. by the end of the week. And those torrential rains over the weekend in the Midwest leading to these terrifying images in Omaha, Nebraska. A man and two friends.
Omaha, Nebraska.
An elevator recording this moment, the water rushing in, rising quickly. They were rescued when the door was pried open in the lobby. When we come back, that historic headline in the U.S. involving jobs posted and the homecoming for America's Olympic heroes.
Why hide your...
He never did say where the water come from.
To the index in the economy and American workers, for the first time ever, the average pay for supermarket and restaurant workers in this country more than $15 an hour, a rise in pay of more than 7% since the pandemic. And businesses searching for workers, a record 10 million jobs now posted nationwide. When we come back, the Olympic homecomings and the famous gold medal mom and her daughter's shirt.
He never did say about the elevator incident towards where the water come from. Probably a sprinkler system. Something busted. I'm sure it had something to do with man-made.
Greg, is it somebody I thought?
Finally, our Olympic heroes coming home. Across the U.S. tonight, the homecomings. Team USA with the most medals, 113 of them. Loved ones, communities, welcoming home heroes. In Houston, Simone Biles and Jordan Childs, Biles hugging her mom Nellie, reuniting with her dog Rambo. Her fans saying, "We love you more than ever." In Spring, Texas, a parade celebrating the two gymnasts with that sign, "Welcome home." In St. Paul, Minnesota, waiting for gymnasts Suni Lee and Grace McCallum, telling them, "We're so proud of you, you killed it." In McCallum's hometown of Asante, August 7th, now named Grace McCallum Day. Well, back in St. Paul, Suni Lee getting a hero's welcome, showing off that medal from atop the fire truck. And waiting tonight for Olympic champion Allison Felix, her daughter, and that shirt seen around the world. "My mom is faster than your mom." America, welcoming home its heroes, congratulating those Olympic athletes.
Absolutely.
Performed in the face of so much. Welcome home. Good night.
Thanks for watching. Good luck to all of us. God bless you and God bless America. God bless the planet. And good luck to all of us. And shalom.